All right, let's go to the Bud Light Hotline powered by Adams Beverages and welcome in our guest who joins us on Fridays every week. He took off last week for the bye, but he's back now. The legend, Eddie Conyers, 91 years young. Hey, I'm trying to make you younger than you are, Mr. Conyers. 91 years young, practice official at UA since 1962. It's LSU week, man. I said on the program that it's kind of been just a sluggish year in terms of the schedule. Not a lot of games that people have been excited about, but boy, everybody's excited about this one, aren't they?
Well, Gary, you might go through your whole career and not have a chance to play a game like this. Sometimes, obviously, you want to win the game, but just having the opportunity to play a game like this almost overrides who wins or loses it. I remember coming off the field one time when Ray Perkins was coaching, and we had a real big ball game coming up, and I was coming off the field, and I said, well, Coach, this is a big ball game. And and Ray, he turned with those steel-looking eyes with no smile, and I never forget, he said, I'd give a year off my life to play a game like this, and I think he meant it.
Yeah, I bet he did. Mr. Conyers is brought to us each week by Just Add Shutters, Inc. More on them in a moment. All right, you've been out there all week on the practice field working. What have you seen from this team? I mean, I know Coach Perkins, he was kind of about the process too. Coach Saban's about the process, but still the players know what's at stake. You sense a little extra juice from the players getting ready for this one?
Gary, there was a real knowledgeable football man yesterday at practice that I think put it into words better than I could do. And he knows football, and I won't mention his name because I wouldn't make a difference. But he happened to say, he said, this team is focused.
Wow.
And there's a lot to that. You get everybody on the same page, obviously it's a big plus for you. And Coach Saban is real good at getting the team to do that. But it'll be a big ball game, no question about that.
Yeah, maybe the best. I mean,
yeah.
Saban might be the best at getting the team focused. All right, Tua, and I saw Gary Danielson tweeted or said this morning on SiriusXM Radio that he's not 100%. I don't think anybody said he's 100%. I haven't seen that. I mean, I think we understand that he just had a tightrope procedure done on his ankle, not even 3 weeks ago. He's not 100%, but I think he's going to play in the game. What's your feeling on Tua?
Oh, yeah, I think, I certainly play a game. To what extent, I don't know, but he looked good to me, and Tua's a competitor, and he would love to play us, certainly.
Coach Stallings, who you work closely with too, heck, you've worked with all of them, like we said, since Coach Bryant, was big on, just being consistent in the approach. And he would always say, you got to, you don't think it's a big game, just try losing it. And he'd always talk about when people would say, you weren't good enough to beat so-and-so. He was always focused on beating the team you had to beat that week. I mean, he felt like you go 1-0 every week, you'd be fine. And it worked well for him. He always said, too, that you can't, emotion will leave you. You can only play on emotion 2 or 3 times a year. I guess that's why with Coach Saban, the process is so important. That they do everything, and I know, like you said, there's a little added juice. The players know what's at stake, but his approach as far as how he handles practice, you're out there, it doesn't vary much whether they're playing LSU or whether they're playing Western Carolina, does it?
Not in the least. I was noticing yesterday's practice, Thursday practice, was exactly like it was his first Thursday practice here. Well, Gary, if what you're doing is working,
that's right.
It don't take much. Let's just keep doing that. And I talked about this game in Coach Stallings. Coach Stallings, you said the way you win a game is you run the ball, you stop the run, you win the turnover battle. And I really think that'll be the key, certainly. Both teams are great teams, equal, but whoever gets the most turnovers, and a 3 and out is a turnover, so whoever gets the most turnovers, I think, decide this game.
Coach Bryant, like Coach Saban, had a lot of success against LSU, and, of course, one of Coach Bryant's favorite people was Charlie McClendon. And Charlie Mack.
Charlie McClendon.
Yeah, Charlie Mack at LSU did a good job, but the knock on him was he couldn't beat Alabama. But I remember he said famously, well, hell, if that's the criteria, we'll all get fired.
Talk about Charlie McClendon when they recruited Terry Davis out of Bogalusa, Louisiana. He had committed to Alabama. Well, Terry Davis's high school coach called the coach that recruited him and said, you better get down here. That Charlie McClendon and the governor of Louisiana is going to fly in and sign Terry Davis for LSU. Well, anyway, this coach goes down there, and he said he met Charlie McClendon, he said, Charlie, don't sign this boy. I've already told Coach Bryant. And he said, no, he's going to play for LSU. And he walked off, and this coach said, Charlie, if you sign it, I'm going to tell Coach Bryant on you. He said, you can have it.
How about that one? That is a great story. You know, Coach Bryant loved being Coach Bryant, and you know what I mean. He loved he loved the fact that the other schools revered him. He may not have said that, but you could tell when he went to Baton Rouge and leaned on those goalposts, and the cheerleaders would run over there, and people would come over. He was always focused on the game. Coach Saban, though, seems to be a little bit different in that regard, and I think he knows, obviously, that a lot of people consider him to be the greatest coach ever, but he doesn't quite. And this is just differences in their personalities. You know, Coach Bryant was bigger than life. I mean, of course, he was a big man physically in stature. Coach Saban isn't. But Coach Saban, when you watch him come out on the field, it's just like everything else. His pregame routine, his pregame warm-up is all the same. He's in there with the players. You know, he's not standing off just watching. He's coaching. They're a little bit different in that regard in how they handle the adulation and the pregame of these big games, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Coach Saban is the most regimented man I think I've ever been around. Regimented, organized, and level-headed, if that makes sense. But he knows what he's doing, and he does it his way, and his way's proved to be very successful.
It certainly has. Through the years, you've watched a lot of Alabama and LSU games in person, on television, been out there on the practice field. I can think of several that jump into my head right away. What are some of your favorite Alabama-LSU memories? I
thought, interestingly enough, it was in Baton Rouge. We went out there, and I remember George Pugh played it. It was a big ball game. But I can only remember after that game, LSU won it, and there was a Catholic school bus. I don't mean this against guys, but that's the worst cussing out I ever got in my life, was from this Catholic school bus, and I think there were 6- and 7-year-old kids in there.
Wow. You're not fudging us. You're telling the truth?
Oh, yeah.
They let you have it?
Oh, man, they let me know where I should go and what I was.
Yeah,
it was beautiful, Gary. It was so good.
It's different down there. I remember Tommy Wilcox telling me, of course, he never intended to go to LSU. His dad had played at Tulane, and he might have gone to Ole Miss and Notre Dame, but he wasn't going to go to LSU. Still, when he came to Alabama, and he was from Harahan, as you know, there next to New Orleans, and they went down there in '79. You remember that game, 3-0 in the rain.
Oh,
and
man, yeah.
Tommy went down there as a redshirt freshman, and they had a number 15 scarecrow made up with a number 15 jersey, Alabama jersey on it, and they were burning it in effigy. They wanted Tommy to see it on the way to the game.
Speaking of Tommy, I don't know if I have time for this or not, but Tommy was a great quarterback, and when he came to Alabama, Coach Bryant put him as a defensive back. And Tommy got kind of upset as a freshman. And I remember going out there one day, and Tommy was leaving. And he said, if I can't play quarterback, I'm going back. He said, I'll show that guy. I said, Tommy, you talking to a guy that kicked Namath and Stabler off a team. He ain't going to worry about your leaving.
And it worked out pretty well for Tommy getting moved to safety, didn't it, Ed?
Oh, yeah, great. Tommy's a great athlete and a great man, by the way, certainly.
Yeah, he wound up being a 2-time All-American there. So it usually works out with these great coaches if you trust in their judgment and do what they want you to do. All right, give me a feeling, a prediction, whatever you want to call it, how you think this one's gonna turn out. I know LSU people feel like this is their year. I mean, for a team that's lost 8 in a row to Alabama, they're very, very confident. What's your feeling on the game tomorrow?
Well, obviously the two teams just evenly matched, and I would kind of go with the people in Las Vegas who about a 7-point favorite. Now, I would hope that would be, but looking at it very realistically, I would have some crimson-colored glasses, certainly. But I like Alabama's chances. We got a good ball club. We're playing at home, and we got the best coach in the United States of America. So I like our chances.
That's a pretty good combination. Listen, you say it like that, Eddie. I'm on board anyway, but I feel even better now about Alabama when you think about it like that. The way you just summed it up, it's pretty good stuff. Hey, you come to us every week, courtesy of Just Add Shutters. I know, as I said before, obviously your son Bubba runs the company, and Royce and Sam, all those guys. But say a word about Just Add Shutters, because not so much the business end of it, but I think it's important when you do business with people that you do business with good people. And I think more than anything, the products are great, but the people you're dealing with there at Just Add Shutters, they're going to do you right, aren't they?
You're right. They have a very high rating with the Chamber of Commerce, and they're good people. And they'll just do it. They'll do it right. They're good people, obviously.
Absolutely.
Obviously, for the kin to me.
Yeah, that's right. Got to be good folks. Just Add Shutters, 205-752-3476. Locally owned and operated for over 24 years while carrying the prestigious A-plus Better Business Bureau rating, specializing in shutters, shutter repairs, shades, and blinds. When you want to spruce up your home, but you don't want to spend a ton of money to do it, give the professionals a call. Royce, Sam, and Bubba at Just Add Shutters, 205-752-3476. Eddie, enjoyed it as always. Talk to you next week.
Okay, Gary. My pleasure, buddy.
Yes, sir. Eddie
Bye-bye.
Conyers.